So hello everyone, here I am with the part 2 of the 6th chapter. So in the part 1 we have studied what is object oriented database concept, object, classes, method, pointers, polymorphism, encapsulation, inheritance and abstraction. These were the OODBMS concept or an object oriented concepts. What are the characteristics we have learned? The characteristics were like easy to link with the programming language, no need for user defined keys, easy modeling and can store non-textual data. So these were the characteristics. So we learned what is object. Object is an instance of a class which is constructed with the help of constructor. So it has three different types, which is the method, variables and message. So also we have learned what is spatial data. Spatial data is associated with the geographic location such as cities, towns, etc. And we have also seen the types of spatial data and the characteristics of spatial data. So what are the two types of spatial data? That is CAD data and geographic data. So the next is spatial indexing. A spatial indexing is a type of extended index that allows you to index a spatial column. So whatever area we are going to store, means like it is Pune. Pune has different places in it. So we will store those locations with the help of indexing in table. So a spatial column is a table column that contains data of spatial data. Means geographic location. It will contain a specific column with the geographic location is known as spatial indexing. A spatial data is a general purpose database that can be enhanced to include spatial data that represents object defined in a geographic space. Means for example, if it is Pimpri Chinchwad area, Pimpri area is different, Chinchwad area is different, Nigdi is different, Akurdi is different. So there are different places which will be defined. Most spatial database allows the representation of simple geometric objects such as point, lines and polygons. So we will see it, range query caused by given points. So this will tell you about the state, country and census tract of the cities, and it is pointed with the points, lines and polygons. See, the geographic location is indicated or represented with the points, lines and polygons. Space driven structure. Whatever structure we see from above and it is drawn like our India map, we have seen the country globe. So whatever area it is defined, that area will be defined with India, USA, China, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, different area. Means this green spot as you see in it, these are the space driven structure. So the next is mobile database. A mobile database is a database that can be connected to by a mobile computing device over a mobile network. A mobile database, for example, your mobile is your database because it stores the document, it stores your images, it stores your text, calls, contacts and different type of data. So it is known as mobile database. A database that is portable and physically separate from the corporate database server. So it is separate and physically portable. Mobile database is capable of communicating with the corporate database server from remote site, allowing sharing of corporate database. It can also be defined as a system with the following structure and functional properties. If it is distributed system, if it has specific functionalities, then yes, it can be also shared with the corporate, or it can also communicate with the corporate database. See, corporate server, corporate database, communication link, corporate DBMS, which is mobile, which is connected to the mobile DBMS, mobile database, and laptop, mobile DBMS, mobile D, and PDA. Need for mobile database. Need for data to be collected as it happens. Business today means anything, anywhere, and any device. Yes, your mobile is portable. It can be anywhere, anytime, and any device it can connect, it can communicate, because it is an wireless connection or wireless communication media. So need of mobile database is very important, so that we can store any type of data. We can use it anywhere and at any time. Features of mobile database. As per the features, like whatever your mobile does is the feature of the mobile database. Mobile database is physically separate from the central database server. Reside a mobile devices. Mobile database are capable of communicating with central database server or other mobile clients from remote site. With the help of mobile database, mobile users must be able to work with the wireless connection due to poor or even non-existing connections. Yes, with non-existing connections also it can store the data. Mobile database architecture. For any mobile architecture, things to be considered are: users are not attached to a fixed geographical location. Yes, our mobile phone we put into our pocket and we move anywhere and everywhere at any time. So it does not have any fixed location to move from one place to another place. Mobile computing device has low power, low cost, and portable. Wireless networks and mobile कंप्यूटिंग कंस्ट्रेंट्स. सो यस, इट इज़ लो पावर. हम लोग लैपटॉप लेके नहीं घूम सकते हमेशा. वो लो कॉस्ट भी है हमारा मोबाइल, एंड पोर्टेबल भी है. जहाँ चाहिए वहाँ पे हम लोग पॉकेट में रख के घूम सकते. इट इज़ एन वायरलेस नेटवर्क टू. यस, mobile computing database typically involves three parties: fixed host, mobile units, and base station. So what do you mean by fixed host? Fixed host performs the transaction and data management function with the help of database server. There is a fixed host, or there is a fixed database where the data is stored and the functions of the server is calculated, is performed. The mobile units are portable computers that move around a geographical region. Yes, our cell phones, our cell networks, our mobile phones can move anywhere with the different geographical location. Base stations are of two ways: radios installations in fixed location that passes communication with the mobile units to and from the fixed host. Yes, our portable mobile phones can move without anything, without a router, and we can connect it from different places too. We can connect from one phone to another phone with our mobile. So yes, it is a wireless communication without a wireless router. See, mobile unit has different locations. Fixed host is at the it has its own database server where it is stored, and database system. So dotted lines are the cells, and wire links are the normal circle or ellipse where it is stored, the wireless link. The next is limitations of mobile database. It has a limited wireless bandwidth. Yes, if you go on hills, the range will not come. So yes, there are limitations for the bandwidth. In the mobile database, wireless communication speed. Yes, the speed of the wireless communication in the mobile database is also limited. It required unlimited battery power to access. So to access when the geographical location is on, yes, it also access your battery too. it is less secure. It is less secured because whenever we click photos, if we delete also, it is updated on the Google too. So it is less secured. It is hard to make thief proof. It is less secure means it is hard to make thief proof. Anyone can access. Temporal database. Temporal databases encompasses all the database applications. It requires some aspects of time when organizing their information. So, temporal database application has been developed in the early days of database uses. So, this database is utilized and kept into a design and a programming implementation so that the database can be exhibited with an application developer. For the application of the developer, it is used to store the data. Time representation in temporal database. There are different time, means valid time is there, transaction time is there. So what do you mean by valid time? In the valid period means with if your college is at 9 o'clock, if your tuition is at 9 o'clock, you have to be on time, is a valid time. And transaction time means when the money is transferred from one bank to another bank, it is known as the transaction time. So the next is bitemporal data combines both valid and transaction time. The valid and the transaction timelines are of two types, and it is encapsulated into one single unit. It is multi-temporal database, means any situation can come or any decisions can be taken to compare the time or to do the transaction time is known as multi-temporal database. The following are the various features. The time period data types include the ability to represent time period. Yes, it has the feature is of time. If it is telling you about the period, if it is telling you about the transaction time, its maintenance, the validity, so it will always be the period of time of what the temporal primary keys, datas or the constraint will do in their execution. Transaction time. So what do you mean by transaction time? Whatever the time you are doing your transaction, you are storing your data, you are clicking your photo, that transaction is the fact of the data, or the date or the timestamp is your transaction time. If you are clicking the photo today on 12th, means the timestamp is on today's 12th, and also the timing at what time you have took that photo. So that will be stored in your rows and column format in the database format. See the valid time now and the transaction time. So this is the value, or this is your transaction time, and this is how it is followed with the valid time, the transaction time, now and now. So it is all connected with your database. So what is decision making? There are some situations in real life where we need to take some decision. Similarly, some situations arise in programming language, and we have to make some decisions for an particular code or particular block of code so that it can be executed in a correct way. So decision making is used, or the statements in programming language decides the direction of the flow of the program. So decision is used to map the flow of the programming is known as decision making. So there are 4 different types of statements in decision making: if then statement, if then else statement, nested if then statement, and if then else if then statement. That is a ladder statement. So what do you mean by if then statement? If then statement is the most simple decision making statement. Means if the condition Do something means whatever you have to run, and end the statement is known as if then. So it is known as a simple decision making statement. It is used to decide whether a certain statement or a block of statement will be executed or not. Means it decides whether it will execute or it will stop the execution. This is known as if then statement. The next is if then else statement. If statement alone tells us that if a condition is true, it will be executed a block of statement, and if the condition is false, it won't execute the statement. But what if we want to do something else if the condition is false? Then the other statement or a block of code is executed. See, if I want to go home, then what will be the condition? I have to bunk the class and go home. Or else, अगर मुझे घर नहीं जाना है तो मैं क्या करूँगा? मैं कहीं और घूमते बैठूँगा. समझ में आया? नहीं. If I want, for example, मेरे फ्रेंड्स मुझे इंसिस्ट कर रहे हैं मूवी जाने के लिए, लेकिन इश्यूज आ रहे. अगर मुझे जाना है तो मैं हाँ कहूँगा और मूवी के लिए जाऊँगा. अगर नहीं जाना है तो मैं घर पे बैठूँगा. इफ ट्रू देन आई वॉन्ट टू डू दैट प्रोसेस. इफ नॉट, इफ फॉल्स, then I will do some else thing is known as if then else statement. The next is nested if then. Nested if then is if statement that it is target of another if statement. Nested if then statement means an if statement inside another if statement. Yes, PL/SQL allows us to nest if statement within if then statement. That is, if condition, then if the condition is true, then it will go to the next part. Then if the second condition is true, then it will end the statement, and again it will end the statement. So if then is the nested if then statement. The next is if then else ladder. A user can decide among multiple options. Means there are multiple options. If the statement is true, then what statement? If not, then what statement? If not, then what statement? अगर मुझे मूवी को नहीं जाना है तो मेरे पास और भी ऑप्शन है, और अगर वो भी नहीं करना है तो मेरे पास दूसरा भी ऑप्शन है. सो देर आर मल्टीपल ऑप्शन टू टेक माई डिसीजन is known as a ladder. If then else statement. So as we have seen the decision making, there are 4 decision making statement. The first is if then statement, second is if then else statement, third is nested if then statement, and the fourth is if then else ladder statement. So got the point? The next is multimedia database. The multimedia database are used to store multimedia data such as images, animations, audio, video along with text. For example, your mobile phone is a multimedia database. Means it stores all type of data into your one single phone is known as multimedia database. The framework that manages different types of multimedia data which can be stored, delivered and utilized in different ways is known as multimedia database management system. Means you can click pictures, you can take a video, you can talk on that phone, you can save some data, you can edit some you can install applications. There are many things you can do on your phone. So that is known as multimedia. Types of multimedia application based on data management characteristics. So the first is repository application. A large amount of multimedia data as well as metadata is stored in the format of data, media keywords, data, media features data, and different type of satellite images, drawings, and scanned data. So repository application stores different or a multi type of data, multimedia data with the particular keywords. So the next is representation application. So they involves delivery of multimedia data subject to temporal constraint, optimally viewing or listing requests DBMS to deliver data at certain rate, offering the quality of service above a certain threshold. So yes, whatever data is stored, whatever it has a real time editing, real time analysis, real time presentation. So whatever data is stored, it has a time fact with the date and time, so it is a temporal constraint. So presentation application use the temporal constraint. The next is collaborative work using multimedia information. It involves executing a complex task by merging drawing, changing notification, and in example intelligent healthcare network. Yes, whatever drawings, for example, you are doing an x-ray, so it has a notification, it has some things to be told, it has a timestamp on it, so everything it has with the collaborative way. So here is the multimedia database. See, the multimedia database has an user view where the application are viewed. Whatever query you are doing is distributed in different formats. Like if you are clicking a picture, different format. If you are saving an audio, different format. If you are saving an video, different format. So it is going to store into a distributed view or a network or a database. It is going to be a query first, then it is going to communicate with the data model, data access and temporal models, and then it is going to be stored into the database. So next is multimedia three-tier architecture, that is, and data first is database tier. At this tier, it stores the query processing language, it stores the data. The next is application, that is middle tier. It resides the application server and the program that access the database for a user. This application tier represents as an abstract view of the database. Yes, it is an abstract view because it only stores the shows data to the user whatever he is in need or how much he is in need. So it is a middle tier. So the next is user or a presentation tier. It is an end user operate on this tier, means whatever we are seeing is known as an user tier. Next is media data, means whatever media, means audio, images, video, animations, whatever data you are storing into a database is known as media data. Media format data, whatever data you are storing is formatted information related to the media, means sampling rate, frame rate, encoding the schemes is known as media format data. The next is media keyword data. This contains the keyword data related to the media in the database. For example, we are storing, if my only my photos are there, then I will store my name and I'll store it. If some functions data is there, then I'll store that image into a different folder. It has a description of whatever image you are storing. The next is media features data. Whatever data you are storing, like if you're clicking an image, if you edit it, you will get an what features or what filter you are adding to it, what you are doing, what is the background, whatever feature of the image is there is described in media feature data. So yes, we have completed this chapter over here, and so learn everything from the sixth chapter. So multimedia database is an important part, and thank you and stay tuned for the next chapter.